Hey guys, it's Filipe here from The Drive. A couple months ago I posted a video on a funky sound coming from my 300zx turbo, my 84. I have come to the conclusion of what the problem is, and this video is going to show you what it was and how I fixed it, or how I plan to fix it. So when I start the car, I don't have to actually start it, but you'll start hearing the vacuum pump kick in. So that compressor noise is actually coming from the passenger side headlight, right underneath of that. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but right here, there's this nozzle that pushes the air out. What's happening is that this diffuser is pulling air in that's coming from all over the engine bay, but mostly through these three lines over here. So what happens is you have this hose with the blue line to the watercock valve. Here, let me turn it off actually so you guys can hear me better. So you have this blue line that helps control the heater system as to the watercock valve. You have the one with the white line that goes to your exhaust manifold. And then you have the one with the red line that goes through your firewall and helps control the actuators. Now those three lines go along this frame rail, and they come back up over here to this diffuser basically. It has the air sucking in from this area, and it goes out and down to that compressor that's over here. So it pulls vacuum from here and it shoots it out that bottom, that part that I was covering with my finger. Now you'll see that each one of these lines is labeled. You have this one has an F underneath of it for a firewall. This one is the exhaust manifold, and that has, I think, has an M underneath. This big middle one is for your cruise control. That comes up over here underneath, I believe. Not exactly certain about that, but the other ones I know I'm certain about. Just a heads up, this video might not be 115% correct, but I'll tell you, it's a lot more knowledge than what I had before I started tackling this problem. So that compressor has an in and an out basically, and it feeds air to the environment. But the in is this line right here. This on this side right here, right? It's the only vacuum line on this side of the ball. We'll call this the ball for now. And what it does is it's pulling in air from those other three areas. So if you have a working vacuum pump with no leaks, the vacuum pump will turn off after about 20 seconds. And if you don't have a working vacuum pump, or you have a leak in the system, that vacuum pump will not turn off. And that was the case with my car. It sounds like a compressor. It goes pop, 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 and no matter what you do, the pump will continue to run. So I tried out another pump. And the pumps look like this, by the way. This is the original pump that I had. I replaced it with another one just to test it. It's just a basic 12 volt power source connected to, or powering a little compressor motor on the inside. And you plug in, hold on a second. That right there is the air, and it comes out right there. That's where that hose was sticking out from underneath. I'll show it to you one more time. This little nipple right here is where the air comes out of. And that one right there is where it's going into the vacuum, or into the compressor, sorry. So I'll show you now how to diagnose it. Let me go back and plug the key in so you can hear the difference. Alright, now to diagnose it, it's actually quite simple. You want to make sure you don't have any leaks coming from these areas here. You'll see that I zip tied this over here, and I added a connector to bring it back to the exhaust manifold. Easiest way is definitely to do with the smoke test. If you have other ways, power to you. I wasn't really sure other ways of doing it, so I had a friend at a local shop help me out. Now you'll hear that the pump just got louder by unplugging this one here. Now if you cover that with your finger, you'll see that after a while, once it realizes that there's complete vacuum in the system, it'll turn itself off. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this one back in. And now it should be creating vacuum all throughout the system. So what you want to do is you want to test these one by one. You want to go ahead and pull them off and cover it. If nothing changes, then you still have a leak somewhere. So you want to go ahead and cover that one back up. Go ahead and do it nice and tight. Make sure it's a proper seal. You've got the one here for your cruise control. Plug that back in. And then for me, now I know it's the red line. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that with my finger, and you'll listen that it gets quieter and quieter. And that's about as quiet as it's going to get. It's not a foolproof system yet, but you can tell that's a lot quieter than that. You can hear it pulling in the air, and you can hear it getting quieter after time. So you'll see the difference, and it'll help you identify at the source basically, or at the ball. And on this side it'll help you identify if there's a leak between the vacuum pump and the ball. And you can go from there. Basically start with this line. If this line doesn't stop the compressor or quiet down the compressor from that to that, then you know that it's somewhere on this side of the ball. If it doesn't quiet it down, then you know that it's somewhere on this side of the ball. So that's a basic diagnostic. Like I said, once you figure that out, you can move on to the smoke test, or use a smoke test to make sure you don't have any leaks on that area. Maybe zip tie a couple of things down to really facilitate your task at hand. I hope that's helpful to you guys. Subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments below. I love my Z31. Today it left me kind of wet because I do have these leaky T-top seals over here. But you know, it's a work in progress. Thanks, guys.